Hello, fellow explorers. What's going on in your relationship right now? What are you meant to be learning? What are their true feelings and intentions towards you? What can you expect as the immediate term likely outcomes that you might be facing soon? And most importantly, how can you tap into your highest self to really get the best out of this situation, to really step forward and really evolve yourself through this? Let's go ahead and jump on into this timeless tarot pick a card reading and find out. Hello, fellow explorers, and welcome to the Mystic Gleamer. It is so good to have you back. I'm delighted to see you again here. And my name is Rita. It is my honor to be your guide through the messages in this reading. Today, our reading is all about relationships, and in particular, what are you being asked to learn in this relationship that's just kind of been stuck in the back of your mind or even in the front of your mind, really just sitting heavily upon your mind, upon your heart, upon your spirit, something that you can't quite shake. What are you being asked to learn from this situation? What are you being asked to learn from this relationship? What are the true feelings, thoughts, intentions that this person or these persons have towards you? How can you expect the next near-term outcome to go? Again, with the clear knowing that, one, you are the author of your own story. None of this is set in stone. Only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you don't like the messages that come towards you in this reading, these are finding you for a reason. So take the action to change things to make the best outcome. And in order to help that, we will have another question looking exactly at how you can tap into that highest self, highest actualization to really make the best outcome for you in this relationship situation. So for today, we have 3 piles. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. That's pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So to help you orient to which pile or piles may be speaking to you about the relationship issues you currently have sitting upon your mind, I'd like you to bring that relationship, that feeling of that relationship to your mind, to your heart, to your soul. And as you let your internal knowing, your intuitive knowing step forward to help you absorb the messages of this reading, go ahead and find your comfortable seated position, either onto a chair or onto the floor, any place where you can begin to get a sense of your connection with the support of Mother Earth beneath you. Imagining roots growing deep, deep down into the nourishing energies of Mother Earth, growing from your feet, from your legs, from your sits bones, deep into the earth, like an umbilical cord connecting you to our Mother, bringing that nourishing energy that she offers you, supporting you up, up, up through those roots into your body, up through their stacked spine, out through your shining crown, and shining out through your open heart. As you open your heart up to accept the messages of this reading, taking 3 deep mindful breaths to help you really hone in on the pile or piles that may be speaking to you today. We'll start with 1 big belly breath in. And exhale. Big breath in. And exhale, releasing the tension. 1 last big cycle of breath in. And exhale to release. Coming to hone in, zero in, zoom in on the piles that may be speaking to you right now. If you feel you need a few more moments to let the piles step forward to you, let your intuitive knowing step forward to accept these messages, go ahead and pause the video right here. Otherwise, we will jump into pile number 1. Pile number 1. What's going on in your relationship right now? What's the issue that you're being asked to resolve? How can you get more insight into what's going on with the other person? What can you expect as the immediate outcome? And what can you do to help you tap into your higher self to really get the best out of this situation? So first for you, group number 1, What are you being asked to learn in this situation right now? What is the situation that you're being presented with that's asking you to integrate? We have the Fool. All right, very interesting. So you're being asked to take a leap of faith. You're being asked to take that joyful jump into the unknown with a bright and sunny outlook, being optimistic about that. The Fool is at the start of the journey. This is a big journey ahead that you're being asked to really leap into without fear, without reservation, and just trust that the universe is going to catch you. And that you have your own, you've got this minimal bit of baggage coming along with you, but that's only there to be the support that you need to make this leap with a good, firm foundation. And what can we offer you, group number 1, as some further insight to the true personality of this person or persons that you're dealing with? So this might be if you're in a situation of having a very rosy outlook upon them, something you maybe haven't fully seen with that rose-tinted glasses that you have on, or if you've been in a space of hurt or in a space of discomfort, something that you haven't seen because your other more intense, more negative emotions have been blocking. You're seeing this true facet of their personality, group number 1. The Knave of Wands in reverse. So that's the Page, so the Knave of Swords in reverse. So the Page of Swords is all about a message of the mind. The swords suit the element of air, so to do with the mind. Could be an indication someone you're dealing with has that air sign energy, so that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Coming up in reverse, could be that they are trying to be more established in the mind. So the Knave of Swords would be that new direction in the mind. We can see that this person is looking to the past, so turning their mind more inward right now. Maybe a very introverted or kept to themselves. Maybe even someone who comes off as quite shy, like they really keep to themselves. And what can we offer you, group number 1, about some further insight to their true intentions, the driving force of their intention, their true intentions towards you, or what's really pushing them to act towards you in this time? We have the Eight of Chalices. Very interesting. So they are likely facing a situation. We have this imagery in this card of a very dark night, this full moon energy, following the moon, following this light in the end of the tunnel. They could be themselves going through a phase. There have been of a lot of heaviness around them, if they've been quite sort of introverted, if they've been quite shy, not really trusting themselves. They might see you as that leap of faith, that person that can inspire them to take that leap, and they are stepping away from something that's no longer serving them. So they are in a space where they are intending towards you by leaving something that's no longer working for them. And what can we offer you, group number 1, as further insight to how they really feel about you? So this, again, would be something that is accessible to your conscious awareness, but haven't really brought your attention to it yet. We have the Moon. All right, so very interesting. Their feelings about you, I'm seeing that they're seeing you as this sort of beacon in the dark, right? So we got this full moon energy coming up twice. And the Moon is a card that is ruled by Pisces, so they might see you as very deep, very spiritual. But also this particular card, even though the Moon is typically ruled by Pisces, this is just like dripping with Cancerian energy, right? We've got the crab here, we've got the moon goddess, Artemis, and she's free, she's unencumbered by heavy clothing, she's completely open and loose and uninhibited, right? But she's got this arrow, this bow and arrow here. She's the archer, which is also speaking of some Sagittarius energy, some of that like good luck and true-sighted. So I'm seeing that they really see you as this beacon in the dark and as this this source of nourishment, because the energy of Cancer is all about being motherly, being home, being a safe place, again, being that center of nurturing, nourishing energy. So they might see you as very unencumbered and free, but also very nourishing in this time of when they might have been going through a space of being in quite a dark space. So what can we offer to you as some insight, group number 1, as to your likely short-term outcome in this relationship right now? Again, with the knowledge that nothing is set in stone, you always have the right to choose. And you can choose to follow what's being pointed at in this reading or not. This is always your choice. We have the 9 of Chalices in reverse. So the likely immediate term outcome, the 9 of Chalices being a card nearing completion. It also speaks of sort of the collective conscious desires of emotion. So the emotions that you both may be feeling in this, or if there's more than one person involved in this situation that's come to your mind, in the immediate term, there's not going to be a quick resolution. This is still indicating that if this is resonating for you, that this person has been in quite a dark space, they really do need to be doing that work to fill their own cup. Don't be trying to, especially if you're resonating with having a lot of that Cancerian energy, you might be quite empathic. You might be really prone to taking on people's energy when it isn't really yours to take, in the sense of like, this is not your responsibility. And so to be mindful that you are keeping yourself in a space where your energy is still in that lighthearted, carefree leap zone, and not sort of jumping into a situation where you're trying to be the legs that they're standing on without having them also learn how to take care of themselves. So supporting them and continue to be, if you're resonating with being a supportive person to them, continue doing that, but make sure that they learn how to be their own beacon, and they learn how to fill their own cups and reach this completion within themselves, and not just have you be that completion for them. So what is a message from your higher self that we can offer to you right now, group number 1, to help get you through this situation, how you can get your best out of the situation? We have the 10 of Pentacles. All right, so this is all about completion and physical manifestation of the physical reality. In the imagery here, we have this happy older couple. So maybe this could be an indication to speak to if you resonate with having parental figures in your life who you think that would be able to give you some advice. So it might be actual parents, or it might be some like an older couple that you think have gone through this, and would be good to have some like sounding board that they can give you some almost like mentorship through this. This is also speaking to ancestors, so maybe thinking back to how your family cycles in your lineage have gone, and so if there's things in that you wish to really draw from, some positive things that have gone really well in the way that your family have done things, and also things that you would like to notice that are patterns that you're repeating that you don't want to be repeating. This coming up in the upright is more about those positive patterns, so really tapping into the positive cycles or the positive behaviors that you see in other groups, other people, and really tapping into how you can see that as a reflection of yourself. And in seeing that reflection of yourself in the way that they manifest their relationships, you can step forward and bring that into this relationship that you're being faced with. Group number 1. Our back of the deck context energy for you, the 10 of Chalices. So the overall outcome for this looks to be quite positive and very emotionally fulfilling. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles here. So looking to your physical well-being and also your emotional well-being is what I'm seeing with that. And yeah, keep to making sure. The only sort of reverse cards here is there's something that your partner needs to really take care of, and you need to give them that space to do that. Don't try to rush it, because the outcome is, the background context here is that sort of rom-com happy ending. There is emotional fulfillment to be found in this situation, but just, you're taking that leap of faith fool energy, do so in a way that is nourishing to both parties and to all parties, and not just pushing forward because you think that there's a scarcity of time or anything like that. Let it unfold as it needs to. Some words of wisdom from the flowers for you, group number 1. We have White Carnation, devotion, be true and pure in thought and deed. Yeah. So that, I think, reflects back to looking back to the positive cycles in other sort of relationships that you see that you would like to see almost as like mentors. And also be true and pure in thought and deed. If you've had if this has popped up for you because there's been some issue with thinking about infidelity, don't do it. But also, you know, keeping up that bright, full energy of keeping things on the lighter side, especially if your partner has things on the heavier side. Just keep to the higher faith, keep to the higher vision. You're going to have to be the one to lead the vision here, because they're having a hard time seeing in the dark right now. And what also do we have for you as words of wisdom from the flowers? Group number 1, we have tuberose, desire. Be certain of where you place your passion, right? It really is definitely tapping in with this purity. So you're really being called, group number 1, to check your intentions, check your, what's driving you to want to be involved in this situation, group number 1. Are you in a space where you're trying to fill someone else's cup, as I was saying earlier? Or is there something in this that might be a spiritual bypass for you as well? That's kind of a flag that I'm getting on this. So just make sure that you keep your intentions highest vibrational, pure, and for the greatest good of all. So if you're trying to manifest this in any way, making sure that your manifestations include, and it be for the good of all or not at all, to make sure that this is actually the path that you need, and also be certain of where you're directing that energy, and be very clear and deliberate, because again, your partner might be having a hard time getting through that right now. And finally, words of healing wisdom for you, this lightning bolt of possibly inspiration, or you might be that sort of quick fire, you want to get things done. We have avoid hateful thoughts, as they are just as hurtful as physically striking one. Yep. So that's definitely hanging in with these, being clear in your devotions and your desires, being very mindful of if there are negative self-talk that's coming up for you, or if there's any kind of indication of someone who's in a really dark space can sometimes be a little bit emotionally lashing out at people. I can speak this from experience. I've had partners who I tried to be the one who's filling their cup instead of letting them learn how to fill their own cup, as it were. And it got quite toxic quite fast. So do be very mindful of avoiding any of those low vibrational hateful thoughts. Even if you're frustrated, even if if you feel like they are in the wrong, let that go. Your purpose is to be focused on how you can be your best self. So these are the messages I have for you, group number 1. Let's see, put it there. Yeah, okay. These are our messages, group number 1. If this resonated for you, please let me know what you think this is about in the comments below. If you like this video, you might give it a like. And if you really hit your vibe, you might also like to hit the subscribe. We'd love to have you along as the channel continues to evolve, be a part of this growing crew. And that's all I have for you. Let's go ahead and move on to group number 2. Group number two, what can we offer you as some insight into what this relationship you're facing is right now, group number 2? First, what are you being called to learn from this situation? What are you being called to learn from this relationship right now, group number 2? We have justice in reverse. Oops. I did that wrong. So what are you being called, group number 2, to be learning from the situation that is presenting to you right now? We have, what are you being called to learn, group number 2? What are you being called to learn in this situation right now? We have the Ace of Swords. All right, so the Ace of Swords, this is the root and spirit of all the air energies. So that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So especially coming up in a relationship reading, I'm hitting more of that Libra energy. So taking a new direction in that sort of balance, that harmony of coming to how you are presenting yourself especially in the mental domain, and how you're bringing forth that energy into this relationship. So what is some further insight that we can offer to you, group number 2, about the true personality of the individual or individuals that you are dealing with? These could be things that you haven't fully seen because you've been wearing rose-tinted glasses, and so you haven't really been completely open to all that they've been presenting you with. Could be the other case that you've been really in a space of hurt or in a space of doubt and you haven't fully seen what's there for you. So what we have to offer you is their true personality. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So the Knights and the court cards, they are all ruled by air, and then with this being the swords, it's also a card that has to do with the element of air. So really bringing service to the mind and how the mind is being used to be a servant. So coming up in reverse, I see this as being someone who's really quite intellectual, but in a way that he or she or they, who knows, whatever pronoun they choose to use is all correct as long as they choose it. Their mental energy is really what sort of drives their life, and they're not as connected with the other parts of themselves. So it could also be an indication that they too are a very prominent air sign. I'm getting a lot of like Aquarius energy on that as well, or even Gemini. So very much in their head a lot of the time. And what can we offer you, group number 2, as further insight to their true intentions towards you? How have they been driving their actions towards you? What's been motivating their actions and their intentions towards you? We have the Hierophant. All right. So the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus. So all about earthly goods, security, and also authority. So some traditional beliefs, traditional authority systems, traditional teachings. So their intention towards you is more in that traditional being grounded and being secure. So they see you possibly as a source of security, or I'm seeing here, this could be that they are intending to find someone who would be marriage material, and they might see you as marriage material. Again, different messages for different people. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But it's definitely to do with an established authority, or they may see you as, or may see their relationship with you as a way of establishing that authority within themselves, or that sense of security within themselves. So what is further insight that we can offer to you, group number 2, about their true feelings? What's the real, these are things that you would have been able to see, but hadn't quite fully brought your attention to. What are their feelings towards you? We have the Sun. Interesting. So a major arcana energy here, and the Sun here is all about finding that light at the end of the tunnel. And then we've got the 2 twins in this particular card. So it could be that they see you as a very tight soul connection, or they feel about you as like, if you resonate with blue flame, twin flame, there could be that energy. Also just see you as a bright, sunny character, a ray of light, a spark of inspiration into their lives. And what can we offer you, group number 2, as some insight into likely immediate term, short-term outcomes from this situation, with again knowing that you are the author of your own story. You always have choice. If you don't like this, you can change things, or if you do like this, you can continue to amplify things to help things go along. This is just a snapshot of what the immediate outcome is likely to be given this current energy. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. All right, so the Knight of Wands, again, this is that air energy of service, bringing the mind to the energy. Coming up in reverse, this could be an indication that both of you are very intellectual in this reading. Could be that you're sort of releasing more of that mental blockage. It could be that you're overthinking things right now, and that's why things aren't fully coming together, but they look like they see you as quite a catch from these cards. So letting go of that mind and letting the fire of spirit of your energy coming forward more, trusting that sort of light energy a bit more to bring forth this. If you're in a sort of a twin flame cycle, you might be in a separation cycle, let that union come back in. And finally, excuse me, message from your higher self for how you can best tap into that higher self, being that higher purpose, that higher outcome, to bring the best resolution for yourself from this situation. We have The Four of Pentacles. All right, so the Four of Pentacles is, again, grounding. This is building a firm foundation in the earthly realm, right? So Four Pentacles, Pentacles is all about earthly things, it's all about physicality, and four being that number of a firm foundation. So you really are being called from your higher self to take that step to set the physical foundations first. Don't worry about jumping ahead too much with your mind or with your energy. Make sure that your house is in order before you jump too much further with this. And then the imagery of this card, we have this man who looks to be in the middle of thought, trying to figure out what he wants to write. So this could be, again, if you're resonating with being on a twin flame cycle, you might be the one who needs to break the silence. You need to be the one who says what's on your heart and on your mind. So again, being very mental-oriented people in this reading, say what's on your heart. And then the back of the deck energy, the context here that's driving all of this for you, group number 2, we have Justice. So we can have that yet another major arcana energy here. And balance, so I was saying Libra energy with the Ace of Swords. And also this card is ruled by Libra and is also a card that speaks to karma. So if this is a deep soul connection, if this is a karmic relationship, karma is being played out for you. So this could be that you have maybe had some relationships that weren't so great in the past, and now you've learned the lessons from them, and you're applying those lessons to do better this time, to speak from your heart and to trust yourself to take that leap and to have this new direction in how your mind is getting out of the way, so you're not overthinking things and you're letting the anxiety step by and really step into your best self here. Some words of wisdom from the flowers for you. Group number 2, we have Anemone, optimism. Look up and look brightly. Yep, so again, if you're overthinking things, notice that your thoughts are things and they will be producing outcomes that you ask of them. So use your thoughts to your advantage and, see the bright side. If this is feeling like a challenge, it's an opportunity to learn, that sort of thing. And we have Gardenia, awareness. Wake up, roll the clouds away, and look. Yeah, so be aware of, again, those things that you might not have been able to see or might not have been wanting to see about the other person and about yourself. And if you've been sort of hiding away from this, if you need to step into space more of optimism, let those clouds go away. You are the sun in this situation. You're the prize at the end of the journey. So let yourself be that, noticing how you're thinking about them and about yourself, because that's going to be a really important factor in all of this mind energy. Be very mindful of how you're using your mind in this situation. Then our words of healing and wisdom for you, group number 2, this rocky sort of beach pebbles or river bottom. Could be that you've been feeling a bit rocky in this relationship right now. We have master the step you are on. Master the step you are on. So it's speaking of mastery of your mind, being the master of how you're using your mind, how you're using your energy, and don't try to push things ahead too fast. Really set that firm foundation first. Make sure your foundations are solid before you step forward with anything, especially because this is a pretty favorable reading for you, group number 2, especially from their perspective. They really think quite a lot of you. So stepping forward with measured pace. Don't leap in too quickly, but do take that step and do so in a way that is, looking towards the highest possible outcome. So setting your intention for the highest possible good, for your highest possible self to be manifest in this relationship will do you great service. All right, that's what I have for you, group number 2. If you really resonated with this reading, if this began to spark something for you, I'd love to know about it. Please let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, might like to give it a like. And if you really hit the vibe of this video, we would love to have you join this growing community of continuing to let this channel grow and evolve, to have you along for the journey of how things manifest along the way. And until then, I look forward to seeing you again. And we'll go ahead and move on to group number 3. All right, group number 3, what can we offer you is some insight into the relationship you're experiencing right now, and how can you step into your best, highest potential, highest vibrational outline or timeline for what you can get out of this. So first, what are you being asked to learn about in this situation? Group number 3, we have the Ace of Wands. All right, so the lesson that you're being really asked to take is to a new direction in your energy, and this the Aces in the minor arcana are all about the spiritual root of the energies of the elements that are involved. So this is fire, so the root of all the fire signs, that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So being more inclined to step forward, to be bold, to take that leap, to be optimistic in the Sagittarian sense, to be proud and to be, proud but not arrogant. So to step out into the limelight for that Leo energy, and again, to take that boldness, to take that jump and that Aries energy. So it could be an indication that you yourself have prominent fire sign in your chart. So this is indicating that you're in the right reading, or that you're being asked to embody that that energy in this experience. So what can we offer to you, group number 3, as further insight into what your partner or partners, the persons or person or persons that you are thinking of in this relationship situation. So their true personality, this might be something that you haven't quite brought your attention to because you've been seeing them through the rosy eyes of love, or it could be something that you haven't quite brought your attention to because you've been focused on a sense of anxiety, or a sense of doubt, or a sense of anger, or a sense of hurt. So what's the true personality that they have that we can help you to see in this reading? Group number 3, we have the King of Wands. All right, so more of that fire energy here. And this person is manifesting or experiencing being the embodiment of the kingly energy. So the good king, the just king. So thinking like Aragon in the Lord of the Rings, or King Arthur, this just and true ruler who is in complete control of how he uses his energy. And he does so in a way that is structured, so structuring and more sort of outward facing. The feminine version of that would be more receptive and more lateral rather than linear. So in a more structured way, but very paternal, very supportive in that way. And what can we offer to you, group number 3, is further insight into their true intentions towards you. What's been sort of the driving force behind their actions towards you, and how do they intend this to go about? They have the 10 of Swords in reverse. Interesting. All right, so they might have been going through some rough stuff. The 10 of Swords is essentially the minor arcana version of the Tower card. So it's the feeling that goes along with having a Tower experience, so a sudden and catastrophic breakthrough that could be quite painful in many cases. So this is a card that also evokes ego death. So the ego death being the swords being the suit that speak of the mind, the 10 being the physical manifestation of the mind, and when you go through this cycle of spiritually awakening, spiritually cleansing yourself, there are going to be parts of your ego that aren't serving you, and so you need to let those go. Coming up in reverse, their intentions towards you might be releasing that Tower moment. So if they've been in a space of being really in a lot of pain from something that was really quite like a short, sharp shock of something to happen to them, they see you as that sort of palliative, like getting rid of that feeling that they've been stuck in of loss. What can we offer to you that's their intention towards you is to release that energy of what they've been stuck on from that sudden change. And what can we offer to you as their true feelings about you? So these are more of their intentions. What are their feelings towards you? They have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is also another card that's about service. So the Knights in the Minor Arcana court cards are evocative of the air. So the Kings are evocative of the fire. So we have Wands, which is also fire. This is a high degree of fiery energy, the highest maturity of that fire energy, that spiritual energy, or that energetic body. And then the Pentacles are more in the physical domain. And the Knight of Pentacles, he's a planner. He's very organized, and he's using his plans to bring forth in the physical world what is been called to in service of his king and queen. So he's feeling towards you as possibly a culmination of his plans, or with this red energy in the background. Look at the similarity of the skies in these cards. So grounding that insight into the physical domain is also what I see with that. So we got this red and purple in here. So the purple being the color that would be associated with the third eye and even with the crown, and then the red being associated with the root. So rooting down, especially with this fire energy, rooting down that fire, rooting down that energy of spirit into the physical domain, and doing so in a way that's suiting some longer term plan of service. And what can we offer to you, group number 3, as the likely short-term outcomes of this relationship, this situation, knowing always that you are the author of your own stories. You have the ability to change this if it doesn't suit you. And if it does suit you, you have the ability to continue on as you have, continue shining your light as the brightest possible way so that you can get the best out of this situation. So our immediate short-term outcome projection for you in this relationship, group number 3, we have the Knave of Chalices. So this is the first time we've really seen water popping up in all of this, fire and mind and physicality. So the immediate outcome is a new direction in how you're using your emotions. The Knaves are all about bringing a message of something new coming in, and the chalices being the cups, the energy of water evocative of emotions. So it could be that you are being asked to manifest more of that energy of being in your emotional body as well as your energetic body, bringing in more of that Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, water sign energy to mute out and transmute some of that extra fire you've got going. And again, bringing into this situation a new way that you're expressing your emotions, a new way that you're embracing your emotions. And that's again the immediate likely outcome. And what is a message from your higher self that we can offer to you, group number 3, to bring about your best outcome, your best case scenario, to help your soul evolution to its best outcome. In this situation, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Very interesting. Okay, so the 8 of Pentacles, this is manifestation 8, and on the physical domain, the 8 of Pentacles is very industrious. It's very, it's got this imagery that reminds me of like the Industrial Revolution. Like it's all about productivity and being very measured and discreet in the way it's doing. So I'm seeing this as like you might actually be actively trying to manifest this person into your life. So basically the higher self suggestion is to stop doing that. Just go with the flow a bit more. Don't stop trying so hard. Any of this success that you're having in this relationship that you're thinking of right now is in spite of how hard you're trying. The hardness that you're trying right now is getting in your way. So let it go, release it. Again, like fire energy, like your grip, you tend to you just force of will, get stuff done. Let it ride, let it float a little bit. It'll come to you when the time is ready, because you're going to need to take this new direction in your energy of emotions to let this come to you. Back of the deck energy, supporting all of this sort of background context, we have the Knight of Chalices. Interesting. So yeah, this is bringing the emotions into service. And I was mentioning earlier, you might be needing to take on more water sign energy. So the Knight of Chalices is the grand romantic in the deck. So if we were in the Wizard of Oz, he'd be the Tin Man, right? Like very sentimental. But in this particular deck, he looks very much more evocative to me of Scorpio. So it could be looking into the depths. It may be that something relevant to this popped up in Scorpio season for you, or it could be that there's something in your subconscious that needs to be resolved or needs to be integrated to allow this to fully manifest. Which again is stop trying so hard, because you're slightly pushing in the wrong direction and it's blocking it. And some words of wisdom from the flowers for you, group number 3. We have African Violet, spirituality. It's time to connect with what you believe. Yep. So what I was saying, be very mindful of what the underlying beliefs are in this situation and how you are expressing them and whether they are serving you or whether you are serving them. There may be some beliefs that need to be reconnected with or reconfigured. And also giving it spirit, spending more time just focusing on connecting with your higher self and less about worrying about this person. And we also have cactus flower, endurance. Hold on, you can do this. Yep. So just give it a little bit of time, give it a little bit of space, be a little bit patient. Things are coming into play. Things are coming into order in spite of all of your pushing. So stop pushing and it will come much faster. And finally, our words of healing wisdom for you, group number 3, we have, in the moment, if you can, remove your judgment and criticism and truly listen to someone. You will empower them. I'm hearing this as definitely listen into your higher self here. So listen into yourself. And if you're having issues because, you're almost coming into union with this person and then there's a separation and there's almost there and then there's a separation, it's because you're not really fully listening to what's happening. You're not really fully listening into what's going on. So in order to empower this full, complete connection, just settle in, listen to your inner self, listen to your inner being. Take some time to meditate, take some time to just be you for a little while, and then this will all come to its resolution. You don't need to try so hard. All right, so that is what I have for you, group number 3. If this resonated something for you, I'd love to know about it. Please let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What were your opinions? What do you think this is about? If you like this video, give it a like. And if it really hit your vibe, you might also like to give us a subscribe. I'd love to have you as a part of this growing community as this channel continues to evolve. Love to have you along for the journey. And until then, thank you so much again, group number 3, for letting me be your guide through these messages. I hope to see you again very soon. And until then, as always, go in peace to love and to serve. Namaste.